are the things we do. Hello tubers, how are we people? Hope you are all well and not suffering from the China virus. Thank you to my subscribers, my viewers, and anyone else who contributes anything at all to these videos. Talking of videos, that little bit was courtesy of my old next door neighbour, Bill. You know who you are. I won't say any more than that. I'm not even going to say who was driving, but yeah, I miss my little baby there, but that's another story. But of course, one door shuts and another one opens. Now, last year in Melbourne, we were in the height of lockdown, and I was going crazy, sitting around, nothing to do, couldn't work, so on and so on. I sold that car and I decided to rebuild my shed with some new machinery and bits and pieces and this and that. And that's what you're about to see is the result of selling that car. Plus also I got a very nice comment from a subscriber the other day about how nice my shed was. So yeah, that was really good. But yeah, we're going to have a bit of a look at the shed, guys. And yeah, let's go.
Well, tubers, this is where it all happens. This is my shed or workshop or man cave or whatever you want to call it. This is where I do all my bits and pieces and just try and keep out of trouble, you know. I suppose we can start with the old potbelly stove. This is the best thing ever, I tell you what. And this time of the year, you need it because it's been bloody. I've just put a match to this and she's just warming up. It's been bloody cold in Melbourne at the moment. Been a pretty cold winter actually so far. It's I mean it's only 8 at the moment and it's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. A few signs as you can see. I used to work for a road contractor and I got the forward sign from them because I'm a bit of a forward man, as you can probably tell. So yeah, that was convenient. A few other bits and pieces. I just got this stump the other day and I'm going to buy an anvil to put onto it. Trouble is, the cheapest anvils I've seen are $699 bloody dollars, and the ones on eBay are even more expensive. So yeah, I'm just got my eye out for one, but I can't see myself getting one anytime soon. Just an old stick welder. That's my can crusher. Just pull down on the handle and there's the empties, and I'm just getting into melting my own aluminium at the moment. Old Vic Bitter sign. I got just the plastic part I got from an antique store. So I made the wooden frame and put the lights behind it and all of that, and come up well. Yeah, just plugged it in and away she goes. So it looks all right, you know. Couple of number plates from me farmer shepherd mates up in central New South Wales there. A few signs, they're all reproductions, they're not originals. The originals would probably cost a bloody fortune if you could find them. Looking around, a couple more signs, my favourite old Melbourne bitter one, and a Fomoco one. As I say, I'm a Ford man. Smart TV up there on the wall. This is where I keep all of my, you know, oils, spray stuff, you know, brake cleaner, WD-40, all that kind of crap. Yeah, you know, a bit of other stuff down there and that. I'm trying to keep all the mess in one area. My grinders, this linishing tool is, you know, you can put sand belts, sandpaper, emery paper belts on it and all that sort of stuff, as well as linishing belts. Terrific thing. Of course, we do a bit of buffing and polishing, as you can see. My parts cleaner. This is a great thing, this. Yeah, just, you know, for cleaning up. It's a bit dark, I'm sorry. Engine components, anything like that, really. I'm just in the process of doing up an old lantern, and this stuff actually strips the paint off. It's fantastic. Yeah, works a treat. So, yeah, that's all right. Bought these benches, well, this time last year. They're polished checker plate aluminium back, stainless steel top, and they're really nice benches. I've got all my cleaning bits and pieces, you know, polishing bits and pieces in there. grinding wheels, files, all the dirty sort of stuff really, nothing in there. That's my emery paper, just to keep it all sorted out in its various grades. Bit of a sink there, just for washing your hands. Oh yeah, the ultrasonic cleaner and a vibrating, I think they're just a vibrating tumbler or cleaner or whatever. Works all right if you're repacking your own rifle shells, you know, your own ammunition. Air compressor, 3-cylinder thing. It's about 3 horse. This is a beauty, this one. Plenty of go in it, plenty of pressure, and you need it to run the sandblaster. Now this thing's, I mean, these are good. I'm not knocking the people who I bought it off or anything, but they're very Chinese. Anything you do will improve them. They're just the bare essentials to make them go. I swapped out, if you look here, you can see they've got all Allen keys in them. The previous way it was all held in by nuts and bolts, and to reach back here, from there it's just impossible when you want to change the screens, you know, because you get a few changeover screens. So I saw it on YouTube, another guy did it, just put rivet nuts in there, and you can do everything from this side, which is great. So yeah, that's a sandblaster. As I say, there's plenty of room for improvement with them. It does the job, but plenty of room for improvement. What have we got here? My lathe. This is a fantastic thing. I just do basic machine work. I'm no gun machinist by any means. And if you want to do extremely precise work, then this probably isn't what you would buy. It's good enough for what I want to do, but it's, you know, if you're into really, you know, tens of thousands of inches, that sort of thing, forget it. Don't buy one of these. It'll do your basic stuff for you, and that's all I need it to do. Looking around, another one of these benches. I can't remember was it Steel Span I bought it? I can't remember the name of the company I bought them off now, but anyway, they're really good. Just all more bits and pieces, rulers, milling ends, boring tools, so on and so on. This is all a lot of stuff for the lathe, you know, your quick change holders, that sort of thing. Live centers, gears for, you know, when you want to do threading. Just more tools, dial indicators, measuring stuff, hole saws, honing tool. Yeah, more stuff. 1, 2, 3 blocks, V blocks, chucks. Yeah, all sorts of stuff really. Got some drills and taps down there. They're just lathe accessories. The normal scrap metal bin. I think there wouldn't be too many shops that don't have a little scrap bin. The milling machine, this is a beauty also. Once again, I wouldn't say it's the most accurate thing, but it's not inaccurate. Having said that, it'd probably be a lot better with a decent machinist on it. As I say, I'm only a rank amateur when it comes to that sort of thing. But, you know, look, like I say, it gets done what I need to do, and that's all it has to do. I just recently, I'll tell you a story. You see this milling vise here that I bought. Once again, no reflection on the company I bought it from, they're fine. This is the most inaccurate piece of crap I have ever seen. It's a 3-axis milling. It was sold as a milling vise. Now, one thing I've learned about milling is that rigidity in the part and tools is everything. This thing's about as rigid as a bloody lump of wet spaghetti, I tell you. Have a look here, those little V slots. Have a look how they match up. Now, the sad part of it is I bought this in the belief that it was made in Germany. Now, I happen to know that German engineered stuff is really, really good, and I thought, yeah, this will be a beauty. Well, I'm not knocking the brand, but what a disappointment. I later found out that they're made offshore in bloody China. Now, whatever the hell China does to them, I don't know, but it's an inaccurate piece of crap that I paid $450 for. Bought this one for about $260. It can only be described as 100% superior. The jaws, everything is extremely accurate. I measured it pretty thoroughly. and it's all extremely accurate, and it was bloody, you know, more than $100 cheaper. Really happy with it. Once you screw it down to the table and that, she's rock solid. Really happy with that. This is sort of my main workbench. It's on wheels tubers, which you can move around, and they're very solid bench, very heavy. That's 10mm plate, so it weighs a ton. It's just there's some of the parts off that lantern I'm cleaning up. That's the front door, the little, you know, the door at the front, whatever you want to call it. Powder coated it white because everything inside the lantern was white, and there was a white highlight around there. So I painted it all white, masked that off, and then that'll be painted red. So yeah, a bit fiddly. Cleaned up the glass and that, so on and so on. That's the, you fill that with kerosene. That's the little lantern or the little burner. Just polished it up, cleaned it up. Come up all right. This, I won't go into this. I'm doing another video on this, so you'll see that shortly. It's just a little reduction gearbox, worm drive thing. Some parts off it. Yeah, that bloody thing. I made this the other week. I suppose you could call it a press, though. It's not really. I use that little bottle jack. But I've sort of been getting into playing around with Dimple Dies and that sort of thing. So I made these up. You know, and the theory is you drill a hole in your piece of metal, put it in, line everything up, so on and so on. Put the press under there, you shoot the stuff in there, boom, and it punches out these things. So, yeah, I sort of punched them out and thought it looks all right. I thought I'll powder coat it just to see how it comes up. So it come out okay. Pretty happy with that. And of course, you know, it puts a lot of strength into the piece. This is only a test piece. It's not for anything. I also made a Louver Punch, which works a treat. And along the same lines, I punched out that. Once again, it's just a test piece. It's not for anything. But the profile come up all right. It's all had to be hand ground, of course. But yeah, the profile came up all right, and I powder coated it, and it looks really good. So yeah, as I say, this is just experimenting, just mucking around, seeing what I can and can't do. So that's those. What else have we got here? The Mig Welder. Yeah, once again, fantastic thing. But yeah, I'm no welder, but that won't stop me from having a bloody go. And this bench is a bloody terrific thing. I bought it from the Workbench Warehouse, which isn't far away from me here in Melbourne. This is my clean area. This is where I do all my reassembly, all that sort of stuff. If you want to do dirty stuff, go down there. That's where you do your grinding, your welding, your sanding, all that sort. Anything that's dirty goes down there. When I'm reassembling an engine or anything like that, it comes up here. This is a clean area. Now I know you're going to say, well, what's that on the bench, Mick? And yeah, fair enough. This is when I went gold prospecting a couple of weeks back, and that shiny stuff in there actually gives you a signal, and it would make you think, yes, that's gold. It's actually not. I can't remember the name of it, but it's in the quartz. And yeah, sort of you get some idiots like me that think, oh yeah, look, I've got a signal, and it turns out to be absolutely nothing. So yeah, you got to watch out for plenty of quartz, you know, up around some of central Victoria there where the golden circle is. Little service trolley. This is me powder coating area. Obviously the oven, which I picked up cheap off eBay. You don't do food in this, obviously, once you've used it for powder coating. The Eastwood gun, or powder coating gun, and the kit. Really good, really happy with that. Some powders and that down there. Radio, you've got to have a bit of noise in the...
Here's pretty Mitch.
You've got to have a bit of noise in the place. And, oh look, these I made the other day. They're just a pair of rollers. You put your bit of pipe or tube or whatever on there, and when you're trying to plasma cut it, it gives you a nice a straight round cut. So the tube just sits in that and just rolls. So you could probably use them for other stuff too, you know, but yeah, handy for that. And what else have we got? This is me, just basically storage. You go back a bit, you get it's a whole big wall unit. Just bits and pieces, you know, nothing too special. Got all my paints and torches, all that sort of thing in there. And pinball related stuff, polishes, spare bits and pieces, that kind of thing in there. Little 32 volt power supply, or 0 to 32, which is great. You just dial in your amps and your volts, and you can check components. You know, great for light bulbs, bits and car parts. It won't do starter motors and that sort of thing, of course, but you know, any little sort of electrical components. And talking of electrical, all my electrical knickknacks, so on and so on. That's all my PPE. More bits and pieces, wire, nuts and bolts, split pins, rivet, all that kind of junk in these drawers. Just stationary sort of stuff. In here is just bits and pieces. Nothing really in particular, just, you know, things that you think are a bit too good to throw out, but, you know, you might use someday. I suppose we're all guilty of hoarding a little bit, but I try to keep it to a minimum because we all carry enough junk. This is the beauty of this thing. I made this a little while ago, and it's a paint can shaker, or spray can shaker, and what happens is that's just a rubber band off the pinball machine. Put the can in there, put your drill on there, and away you go. And it's bloody fantastic. I just copied it off another guy on YouTube. It's not my design. He made it as a wood. He's out of wood, I made mine out of steel. It's a bloody ripper, that is. It goes just up the top there. What else we got? Oh, the cannon, that's just a log splitter. I won't bother showing you that. The rifle safe. Got a few guns in there. They've got to be locked up and bolted, and the safe has to be bolted down according to law in Victoria, Australia, so that's all within the law. And my shelves with slowly but surely filling up with engines. All of these you've seen on previous videos. Always looking for more engines. A bit hard to come by, unless you want to pay heaps. That pipe cutter come up a beauty, the little hand grinder. A few other bits and pieces. This is an old grease gun that I've had for years and years, and I thought I'll clean it up and polish it up, and it come up nice. Yeah, come up real nice. An old distributor out of an old Ford straight 6. That drill I gave up. I did a video on the start of that. I gave up on that. It's sparking like you wouldn't believe, and I'm no electrician. This is it's a little test bench that I made up. I just milled out these slots, and what you do is you bolt the base of the engine down, and when you want to start them up and run them, it's on the bench. It doesn't go anywhere. It's on wheels, and yeah, it's quite handy. These, of course, are my pride and joys. Electromechanical pinball machines. This is a Stern Stampede. Stern took over a company called Chicago Coin, and this was one of their first machines, and it was also one of their last electromechanical, because they went pretty much straight after this. They went to solid state, which is your electronic ones. But I've just re-rubbered this and polished it all. Came up and touched up a few areas that were pretty bad, because it's getting on. It's 1977. Bit of wear in the cabinet and that sort of thing. The usual patina. But it plays very well, and the play field of that, it's sort of 90%, as is the back glass about 80%. The other one is a Bally Space Time, 1972, and this machine, not this specific machine, but one of this type, had the distinction of being on an episode or a couple of episodes of Happy Days, believe it or not. So the timeline was a bit out, but because Happy Days wasn't set in the 1970s. But having said that, I mean, who picks up on that sort of stuff? Probably someone without a life. Oh shit, I'm one too. Good on you. Bundy Bear, of course, he's very COVID aware. He puts his mask on all the time. Good on you, Bundy, no worries, mate. And Captain Morgan, got them from the local bottle shop, actually. I know the guy, he doesn't work there anymore. Know the guy down there. A few more signs. Now, this is a real problem in Australia. Drop bears. A lot of people don't think, they think it's bullshit, but it's actually true. I've got a lot of gum trees here, and you can't really see them. They're that well camouflaged, but they live up there, and at night they will actually drop down on top of you. So I refuse to walk around out there at night. They're sort of a feral koala type of thing. They're just, really, really dangerous. It's best to avoid it. It's best to either rub Vegemite behind your ears or put forks in your hair, so when they come down, they hit the forks and hurt themselves. So Yeah, they're particularly fond of Asian tourists for some reason. I think they just like the taste of the blood or something, I don't know. But what else we got? Oh yeah, here's a couple of other bits and pieces. This old Briggs and Stratton engine, it's a vertical shaft, it's off a ride-on mower. I want to do it up, but it's missing the top cowling. Without the top cowling, it'll run hot. So I don't want to, I'm not doing anything until I get one of them. My little furnace, I'll show you a bit of that on video, show you that going. That's just about it. And of course the Ferguson, that's a 1952 model, TEA20. She's very well worn and it will be getting restored. I just don't have the money at the moment, but I'll do a full resto on it and make it look nice. You know, I'd try and get it comparable to how these engines came up. But yeah, in the meantime, it just does its little bits of work, put out the rubbish bins with the carry-all that I made, that sort of thing. But yeah, she's a beauty, you know, a bit of fun. I love the old stuff. And this is just about the last thing, me plasma cutter. This is a beauty. Talk about a hot knife through butter. I mean, there's nothing new about it. There's plenty of them out there. It's not new technology, but Jesus, I tell you what, they go through just about anything. And I made up a little, can't really see, got on my cables, a little circle cutting sort of a tool. That end goes over the gun. You just drill a small hole in your piece, which is of course, you know, not ideal because you have to fill it up with weld unless it's not a problem. And you sort of screw that in and that just rotates around. So that, you know, that's a bloody handy little thing. Well, it did that circle there. So that's the plasma cutter. Yeah, what else? I think that's just about everything. Oh, my old toolbox. Back in 1980, I started an apprenticeship as a motor mechanic with a Mazda dealership and bought this toolbox in about 81. It's from Beach Industries in Canada, Smiths Falls, Ontario, I think it is. So I don't even know if they're still in business because I gotta say I bought this about 81. And I've had it ever since. Me pliers, sockets and all of that. Screwdrivers, spanners, air tools, all my measuring stuff, you know, straight edges, micrometers, verniers, compression tester, bits and pieces, you know, calipers, all that kind of crap. Just my Allen keys, various other bits and pieces. Most of the stuff's up on the benches and that. Yeah, pipe bending tools, brake pipe flaring tool, chain breaker, you know, valve tool, all the usual sort of stuff that people have got. I'm just starting a little collection of Whitworth spanners, because most of those old engines are bloody Whitworth. So, because BSAs and JAPs, yeah, all Whitworth. So there's just tools there, nothing that you haven't seen, but that's about it, guys. So it's handy to have this workshop, especially during the lockdowns. I mean, lockdown in Melbourne, I don't know about the rest of the world, but you know, you can get up one morning and bang and find out you're in lockdown and then 5 days later you're out of it again. There's no way of knowing. They're just snap decisions, right or wrong. We're stuck with it, but thank you to the people who bought it to us. I think the whole world is still waiting for an apology from people that will never apologise, but if that's not PC or racist, I don't care what people think. It's the truth. But yeah, that's it, guys. So yeah, welcome to me shed, and as I say, thank you to my subscribers, my viewers, and anyone else who contributes anything at all to these videos. Hope you all stay clear of the China virus, and I shall talk to you guys very, very soon. Well, tubers, here we have it. I made myself a little homemade aluminium melting furnace. We're just warming him up, just with some heat beads and the hairdryer and that, and we'll melt some aluminium and tip it into these moulds that I made up, and yeah, machine something out of them, I suppose. Next step. Just starting to get hot now, guys. We have it, tube. It just poured these. You don't get a huge yield. Well, you get nothing from cans, but that rubbish. But I had some aluminium, which we put in. So we're letting that cool. Yeah, a little crucible holds up. Yeah, everything's just cooling off now, so we can machine them up. Well, we'll re-melt that. Such a small amount, but can get a fair bit out of that one.
Later, guys.